faith or your fear, and the one you feed most becomes the master of your destiny. When you wake up each morning, you face two choices: to expect victory or to expect defeat. The man who expects victory walks differently, speaks differently, and decides differently. His mind is a magnet for opportunities because he believes they belong to him. The man who expects defeat sees the same world, yet finds reasons why things cannot work. His thoughts become walls that block his own path. What separates the two is not circumstance, but certainty. The certainty that one's vision will come to pass. If you look at the stories of every great achiever, you'll find one common pattern: they acted long before they had proof that success would come. They believed in their mission with a strength so unshakable that the world had no choice but to yield to their will. This is what it means to act as if you cannot lose. You stop waiting for signs for approval or for guarantees. You create those guarantees through unwavering belief in your purpose. The moment your mind accepts that losing is not an option, something powerful happens. Your energy changes. You stop retreating when obstacles appear. You stop entertaining doubt. Instead, you begin to think only in terms of how it will happen, how it will work, how you will win. Understand, this doubt is a destroyer of dreams. It whispers that you are not ready, not capable, not worthy. And once you accept that whisper, it becomes your truth. But when you train your mind to reject doubt and act from conviction, the universe aligns with your decision. Life responds to courage. It bends for those who move with faith, so complete that defeat becomes impossible in their minds. So from this moment on, decide that your thoughts will no longer be negotiable. Refuse to indulge in the language of failure. Begin to walk with the quiet assurance of someone who already possesses victory. When you think, act, and believe as if you cannot lose, you begin to tap into the highest version of yourself, the one capable of achieving anything imagined. And once that belief becomes your way of life, the world will no longer see a person who hopes to win. It will see someone who has already won in spirit, and therefore cannot lose. When a person walks through life without a clear purpose, they move like a ship without a rudder, tossed and turned by every wave of circumstance. Acting as if you cannot lose begins with knowing exactly what you are moving toward. Purpose is the anchor of confidence. It eliminates hesitation because it gives every action a reason, every struggle a meaning, and every moment a direction. When you know where you are going, the world can throw storms your way, but you remain steady because your mind is fixed on the destination, not the distraction. Most people fail not because they lack ability, but because they lack direction. They drift from one idea to another, from one dream to the next, never truly committing to any. But the man or woman who decides upon a definite purpose and holds to it with unbreakable resolve walks a different path. They no longer live by chance, but by choice. Their mind is disciplined, their focus sharp, and their energy concentrated. Such a person does not ask, "Can I succeed?" They ask only, "How will I make this succeed?" That shift in question transforms their entire existence. Fear loses its grip when purpose takes control. You cannot act as if you cannot lose if fear dominates your mind. Fear thrives in uncertainty. It feeds on hesitation and doubt. But once you define your purpose, fear begins to die. It cannot survive where clarity lives. You start to see challenges not as threats, but as necessary steps toward your vision. You realize that temporary defeat is not failure, it is education. It is the universe testing your resolve, asking if you truly mean what you say you want. Purpose also gives power to your persistence. When you know why you are doing something, the how becomes easier to bear. The long nights, the disappointments, the rejections, all of it becomes fuel. You begin to welcome struggle because it sharpens your character and strengthens your faith. Every setback reminds you that success is being shaped in silence, one disciplined decision at a time. To act as if you cannot lose, you must speak, think, and move with the confidence of one who already sees the end before it begins. You must see the result in your mind so clearly that it becomes impossible not to pursue it. This is what it means to live with definiteness of purpose. It is to wake each day with intention, to align your every thought with your goal, and to refuse to drift back into the comfort of uncertainty. Once you commit yourself completely to a purpose so strong that it burns away fear, hesitation, and doubt, you become unstoppable. The path may twist, the road may rise and fall, but you will never lose your direction, and therefore you will never lose. Faith without movement is merely an intention, and intentions alone have never built a life of greatness. To act as if you cannot lose means to move, to act, and to persist even when the path is unclear. Many people believe they must first feel confident before taking action, but the truth is the opposite. Confidence is born from consistent action. Every step you take, no matter how small, strengthens your belief. Every moment of courage, no matter how quiet, feeds the fire of determination within you. The key is persistence, continuing forward even when there is no applause, no visible progress, and no one watching. Most people stop too soon. They give up not because they are incapable, but because they have convinced themselves that effort without immediate reward is wasted. Yet the person who acts as if they cannot lose understands that every act of effort is a seed, and seeds do not sprout overnight. You plant, you water, you nurture, and you wait, trusting the process even when the soil looks still. That trust, that steady movement despite uncertainty, is the mark of faith in action. The person who persists outlasts the one who merely plans. Plans can change, persistence endures. When you meet obstacles, remember that they are not proof of failure. They are proof of progress. The very resistance you face means that you are moving forward. The world does not challenge those who stand still. It only tests those who are advancing toward something greater. Each challenge is an invitation to refine your strength, to build the endurance required to handle the success that awaits you. If you stop when things become uncomfortable, you rob yourself of the transformation that persistence was designed to create. There will be moments when the results seem invisible, when everything within you whispers that it isn't working. That is the moment most give up, and that is precisely where the winners are separated from the rest. To act as if you cannot lose is to refuse to surrender your faith to temporary appearances. Keep moving, keep building, keep believing that every effort counts, even when the evidence has not yet appeared. Momentum builds slowly at first, but once it gathers strength, it becomes unstoppable. Every day that you persist, you are training your mind to obey your purpose instead of your feelings. You are proving to yourself that your commitment is stronger than your comfort. And with each act of persistence, you create habits that make giving up impossible. That is how faith becomes power, through motion, through endurance, through the refusal to stop. Because in the end, it is not the one who starts with the loudest enthusiasm who wins, but the one who keeps going long after the noise fades. Before any dream becomes reality, it must first be lived within the imagination. To act as if you cannot lose is to begin embodying success long before it manifests in the physical world. It is not pretense, it is preparation. You must become the person who is worthy of the result you seek before life delivers it into your hands. The thoughts you think, the emotions you feel, the posture you carry, the way you speak, all are silent declarations to the universe of who you believe yourself to be. When those declarations align with victory, success begins to unfold almost as if it were drawn to you. The greatest transformation does not occur after success, it happens before it. You begin by shifting from wishing to being. Instead of saying, "I hope to become successful," you begin to say, "I am building success right now." That inner shift creates an invisible force, a confidence that does not depend on circumstance. It is the quiet certainty that even if you are not yet standing at the top of the mountain, you are already climbing it with the heart of a conqueror. When your inner identity becomes one with your goal, every action you take moves naturally toward it. Most people wait until success appears before they allow themselves to feel confident, worthy, or deserving. But that is the mistake. The feeling must come first. You must live and act as though the result already belongs to you, because belief is the foundation upon which achievement stands. When you embody the mindset of success, your decisions change. You no longer think like a beginner hoping for approval. You think like a creator shaping destiny. You stop asking, "Will this work?" and start declaring, "I will make this work." This way of thinking affects everything. Your energy becomes magnetic. People feel your certainty. Opportunities seem to appear in ways that defy logic, not because luck has found you, but because your focus and confidence have drawn them into your orbit. You have aligned your inner world so strongly with success that failure no longer fits the image you hold of yourself. It becomes impossible for the world to see you as defeated when you no longer see yourself that way. Every day is a rehearsal for the life you are creating. You are either practicing success or practicing limitation. Every choice, every word, every attitude is shaping the person you are becoming. To act as if you cannot lose is to live from the identity of the victor now, to think, walk, and decide from that state until the world has no choice but to recognize it as truth. And when that moment comes, when your inner conviction and your outer reality finally meet, you will realize that you never truly became successful. You had only remembered who you already were.